Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols. Well, joining me off the top of the show today, I've got Sue Williams from Holy Help Spay and Neuter, and she's going to tell us about a really neat opportunity that we all can get involved in that will help a lot of people. Tell us about the shoe drive.
This is really funny the way this happened. Just out of the blue, we got a letter in the mail from an organization in Florida, a nonprofit, and they invited us to join them in collecting community shoes, new and gently used shoes, which they would in turn buy from us, and then we could use the money in our community on people's pets who can't afford to have them spayed and neutered, and they in turn take the shoes and get them to third world countries. So what a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, is this the first year that you've done this shoe drive?
Yes.
Wow, so this is really exciting. And tell me about where do we send our shoes? What's the cutoff date?
Okay, well, we strategically picked 6 different places, one on each side of town, so that nobody would have to travel across town to drop off their shoes. And if I can read them to you, one is, and we just want to thank these people for being drop-off points. They're the best. Farrell Calhoun Paint, and they're out on Gate City Highway. And then Carl Jesse Frame Shop, which is on Commonwealth Avenue. Farm Bureau, Virginia Farm Bureau Insurance, which is up on Lee Highway. Wendy's Restaurant out on the Parkway. And Mountain Empire Comics, and they're right on 6th Street in downtown Bristol. And then Jolly Time Liquor and Wine on King College Road.
Perfect.
So yes, it's in every direction you could think of.
So you just drop your shoes off at one of those locations, and does it matter, like, is it kids, infants, all the way up?
Anything goes.
Anything. Okay.
Children's, adults, boots, sneakers, everything.
And what is the cutoff date for the drop-off?
The cutoff date for our contract that we signed with Funds to Orgs says that we've got until October 31st.
Oh, okay.
And at that point, we have to give them a count of how many shoes we have. And we have to come up with 2,500 pair.
Wow.
And I think we can do it.
I definitely do too.
And then it will take them 30 to 45 days after that to get a truck to come pick up the shoes from us. Okay. And we are allowed to still keep collecting after that, in which case we would get even more money.
That's fantastic. And you're already seeing some success with this.
Yes, we're already halfway there, if you can believe that. But, the people who donated them's closets are getting cleaned out, and they don't just spring up like mushrooms, so we need more people to get involved.
That's fantastic, Sue. Is there anything else that we're missing that you'd like to add?
Well, first of all, anybody who needs help with spay and neuter, please feel free to look at our Facebook page. And the very first thing that pops up ought to be instructions on how to get your pet fixed very, very inexpensively. Okay. And we're happy to do that. And we partner with another organization in Abingdon who also puts in money toward these people's spay and neuter. And since we started, we have now helped over 40,000 animals to get fixed. And that's not even a drop in the bucket.
Wow, that is amazing. Not even a drop.
It's sad.
Great. What a good service, though. I'm sure it's really a rewarding place to be and know that you're doing such a good job.
When you see the struggles that animals are in, constantly, all different types of struggles, you can just sit back and say, I know that none of the kittens or puppies that came from this animal are going to struggle because they were never born.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much, and good
Thanks
luck
for
with this
having
shoe
me. I
drive.
know, it's-
You'll have to come back and give us an update on
Oh, yeah, we'd
how
love
many
to.
shoes you really ended up with by October 31st. And,
Yes.
so anybody out there that has some extra shoes around that you're not using that have been gently used, yeah, you know where to go. We've got 6 drop-offs points, which is fantastic.
I know.
So that's good.
And a shout out to all of them for doing that.
Yeah, no kidding. That's great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks
Don't
for
go
having me.
anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols. Well, for our city spot, we're going to talk to City Police Officer Adam Dye. He's going to tell us all about some important safety tips for holiday weekend travel and also for all the different events that go on during the holiday time and even in the fall. Here he is.
On Labor Day weekend, we will have more officers on the road. We actually have what we call a DUI detail. It's a grant from the state where they pay to have extra officers on those particular days all the way around the year. But also Labor Day, we'll have some folks out looking for DUI offenders and of course your normal traffic offenses, speeding and distracted driving, that kind of thing. Because those particular infractions are dangerous in and of themselves, but they can also help us lead to catching DUI offenders. Well, Labor Day, and you can kind of liken it to the race events here in Bristol. There's always that much more traffic on the highway, just so everywhere in the United States, the population of the highway is going to increase. On average, there's about 300 fatal car crashes every Labor Day weekend in the United States, and that's the fatals. That's not counting, just severe injury crashes where someone survives or anything like that. Labor Day is the 5th most dangerous holiday for car crashes there is. People don't realize sometimes you look down at your phone for just a few seconds and the next thing you know you've hit the car in front of you. Especially the culture of driving today is we're a tailgating society. There's just no way around it. It's what people do. So you imagine if you're following a car a couple seconds off their bumper, you look down at your phone just long enough to take a text message and that car has to stop. You don't have time to react, and next thing you know you're in a crash. Or even worse, let's say you're driving along and a car comes from an intersection and runs a stop sign and you're looking at your phone. You could have seen that and possibly prevented that crash, as opposed to when you're on your phone and you get involved in the crash. Cell phones are the primary, but there's also other things like if a person's eating and driving, sometimes that can be distracting. Kids in the car, that definitely a distraction. I can relate to that personally. And pets in the car, up moving around, that kind of thing. They can block your field of vision or they can be a distraction. And of course, the one thing that's been there since cars were cars, and that's the stereo and the music. And of course, we've got so many more devices now that connect and give us so much more information in our vehicles. So there's all that, and some of these newer vehicles now are even coming with some type of computer, I call it a computer screen, to where a lot of the operations of the car are involved in that screen, but there's also other things on there that can be distracting. Well, you definitely need to buckle up, even on the short trips. 25 miles an hour, which is the lowest speed limit other than school zones we have here in the city, is still a lot of momentum when you get it into a crash. Think about it like this. If you think you can hold on when you get into a crash and not go out the window or not go flying around the car, take how much you weigh and multiply it by the speed of the vehicle, and theoretically that's how much you weigh when you get into a crash when that vehicle comes to a dead stop. And child safety seats, I can't say enough about that. Everybody, I very rarely anymore see someone in a car with a child that's not in a child safety seat. Most people are aware, we're going to see that, we're going to stop the car and issue a citation. But the biggest thing is make sure those seats are installed properly and being used properly. We have car seat technicians at the police department and the fire department, and our goal is to make sure you as the parent know how to put your car seat in the car properly, how to put the child in the car properly. And as we're getting into these colder months, one thing I caution you about, and you can look up, there's YouTube videos where you can see demonstrations, but putting thick, heavy winter coats on a child and buckling them in the car seat, you can't possibly pull the straps tight enough to hold that child in the car. They will actually come out of the car seat in a crash. you should definitely check your windshield wipers, your lights, your tires. Windshield wipers in particular are essential to safety. Clean windshield is 50% more visible than a dirty windshield. Something people don't realize too is windshield wipers will deteriorate just sitting on the car whether you drive it or not. I always tell people, if you buy a brand new car off the lot and it's been there more than 6 months, make them put a new set of wipers on. As far as your tires go, check the tread wear. You can take a penny and turn it upside down and stick it in the tread blocks of your tire. If you can see all of Lincoln's head, your tires are worn out and you need to replace them. But you also, really vital thing that you need to check is your air pressure. Many crashes are caused by low air pressure and tires losing grip, or even overinflated tires, because either direction you go, the tires are going to lose grip. You have to think about it like this. There's a patch in contact with the road that's about the size of the palm of my hand in 4 different places, and that's what's holding you in the road. So if you don't have that properly inflated, then you're lessening that much of what's holding you in the road. Be safe, be careful, drink responsibly if you're going to drink this weekend, and that means, have a designated driver, call an Uber or a cab or Lyft or whatever service that you choose, and get a ride if you've had a few too many. Don't try to sleep it off in your vehicle. And most people, what will happen is they'll sleep for a couple hours, they'll wake up, they think they're okay to go, and they still have a high blood alcohol level. They take off driving, they end up in a crash.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and we've got Maggie Elliott here from Believe in Bristol, and Damon Swallow, who I just want to call the Pepper King. And he is about to, I guess, push my taste buds to the limit and make me try one of these amazing, beautiful peppers on camera here. But we're here today to talk to you about the Pepper Fest that's coming up. And so definitely pull your calendars out. And this is one you are not going to want to miss. It's the second year. We had it in 2019 and then had the oops year, and then now we're back. So tell us a little bit about this. You want to start, Maggie?
Yeah, so it's a partnership event. So Believe in Bristol is taking the lead logistics-wise, but we have our Pepper King, I think that's appropriate, to supply all of the goods. But it's going to be a really great event. It's on 6th Street, and the whole street will be closed. Primarily, the events will be in the parking lot there. So we'll have some vendors, some kids activities, some food, of course, some kids tongue twisters, some live music, and then of course the live pepper eating contest. So we'll also have Quaker Steak and Lube is sponsoring a hot wing, their Atomic Wing Challenge eating contest as well.
So pepper and wing fans, this is your day. So this is exciting. How did you get into all of this?
Well, bought a house and didn't have to ask permission to plant a garden. So I just wanted to try growing peppers from different parts of the world just to see what they tasted like.
And obviously that went really well for you.
30 plants turned into 90 plants, turned into several hundred. And this year I'm just over 900 total.
Oh my goodness.
And 120 different varieties.
So tell us a little bit about what we have here. We have such a beautiful selection, and some don't almost even look like peppers.
Well, peppers come in a wide variety of shapes and colors, and you can't always judge size as, whether or not it's going to be a really hot one. I mean, that one right there is by far going to be way hotter than that little thing.
Oh,
but
wow.
Those
have a kick to it?
Yes.
Yeah, so is there like a way to know whether it's going to have that kick to it or not?
About the only guarantee is if it's got the really bumpy, wrinkly skin, that one's definitely one to be cautious of.
Okay. Good to know. Did you know that, Maggie?
I learned that. It was definitely that misconception, the smaller, the hotter. And
that's
I've
not true.
Learned that is not true.
Well,
yes.
So I guess when I'm having to select one of these, I'll maybe stay away from it. Although I do like things with a little bit of a kick to it.
How much of a kick?
I don't know, though. That could be, interesting. Well, this is great. So how did y'all even come up with this idea? And
we've been trying to get something going, community, just trying to get the community going, introduced to and exposed to more pepper varieties than what you can normally get in a grocery store. And I was introduced to the girls that believe in Bristol, and we started talking, and it just took off from
Developed. Yeah. And it's fascinating. You look at these and I'm thinking, gosh, I've never even seen these varieties. Do you want to tell us a few different varieties and kind of what to expect from that? Like, what about this one? The big one, the biggest one out here.
That is a Mexican Mesilla.
Okay.
It's really good roasted. I also make a powder out of that, but mostly that's going to be for personal use this year. It's about the same heat level as like a poblano.
Okay.
But unlike poblanos and Anaheims and Hatch and most of the Southwest varieties, it's very thin skin, so you can roast it and just put it right on the plate. You don't have to worry about peeling it or anything. So, wow. And a beautiful sweet flavor.
And of course, there's a lot of variety of colors. So like this shade, I've just, what's that?
These are some of what are referred to as chocolate varietals.
Okay.
Chocolate referring to the color, not the flavor. If someone
sign me up for the chocolate.
If someone could ever work out a chocolate flavor inside a pepper, they'd be a millionaire, that's for sure. But typically the chocolate varieties of specific peppers are usually hotter, but not always.
And then what about some of these yellow ones?
Yellow ones tend to be one of my personal favorites. They are more frequently more fruity, and some of them are very citrusy. And they can be all over the heat spectrum.
Okay.
So that one is a Trinidad perfume. Mm-hmm. Lots of citrusy flavor, zero heat. This one is a Scorpion and Ghost hybrid that I got seeds from another grower. He crossed it. This is the third generation of that pod. And I'm not even sure if it's what he was aiming for. It's just a nice looking pepper. Lots of heat. Pretty nice flavor, kind of on the fruity side. And that one is a three-way cross that I've been working on between a Fatali, a Yellow Moruga, and a Pimenta Puma. Names that most people are not going to be familiar with, but it does produce a beautiful color. The Pimenta Puma is bringing in that kind of purplish variegated color pattern to it.
Nice. Almost. And what about the heat level on this?
Extremely hot.
Okay. I may stay away from that one. I might have to try one of those off cameras. But let's start with that other one, the first one. I'll try that one. Can I try this? Yes. I'm just curious. How is there like a way to eat peppers? Just bite into it.
Chomp in.
That's good.
Is it citrusy, lemony, like you said?
Citrusy. A little bit of sweet, and I always like the crunch to peppers. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the appeals to it, right?
I've pickled those before.
This is very good.
And they're really good that way. But also just coarsely chop them up and use them in salads, especially something with fresh tomatoes with it. The little bit of acidity helps bring out even more flavor in the pepper.
This is great. Well, this is really exciting. Well, I know the event will be a huge success. Maybe right before we go, just in case I have some sort of a hot flash. I want to try a hot one. One that's not so hot that you're going to be like racing me to Bristol Regional or something. I don't want to do that, but
the two most important things I tell people about peppers. One, they cause discomfort, not damage.
Okay.
Two, eventually it stops.
Well, that's good. What about the milk myth? Is that true or?
Yes. Things that will help ease the discomfort. Milk has to be whole milk.
Oh, okay.
It's the fat in the milk. So milk, soft white dairy, cottage cheese, sour cream, things like that. Peanut butter works really well. It's the oil and fat in the peanut butter. Yeah. And since peanut butter it just smears and coats, it stays there and it continues to help out. Whereas the milk, as soon as you swallow it, it's just done working.
Yeah.
Which is why people tend to go through a half gallon or a gallon of milk so quick.
For those that participate in the pepper eating contest, we do supply the fire extinguishers, as we like to call. So milk, plenty of milk and peanut butter for anyone who wants to sign up to torture themselves or enjoy some peppers, depending on, which spectrum you're on.
This is great. And I mean, I'm sure maybe like a towel too, because, I always feel like when I eat something hot, like I just instantly start sweating. Do you all have that problem?
Yeah, definitely.
Last time we had fire department standing by.
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I love it. Well, this is exciting. What a great event. It's going to be a beautiful time of year. Just an awesome way to celebrate peppers and be together and do something fun, which we all need. So pull out a pretty hot one. I don't have peanut butter. I don't have milk. So I'm just going to have to go for it. And then we're going to say, we'll see you next time. So what do you think?
Oh, boy.
You got one for me? No, don't take too long. That's really stressing me out a little bit.
Top tray.
Okay, we've got another. We've got more trays. There's just so many varieties. Okay. Gosh, that looks like the other one. See, this is why they're deceiving. Okay.
That one's going to be pretty intense, but it's not going to be as bad as a Reaper.
Okay, and what is this one?
That is the Bahamian Beast.
Oh, well, I'm sure it's going to be true to its name. All right, everybody. I thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you all for tuning in, and we'll say goodbye and hope to see you at the event. All right, here goes. I took a big bite. Oh my gosh, it's hot on my tongue already.
Already immediate.
Bye, everybody.